Here in the Western Cape, the fishing industry for the longest time have really been battling due to a range of challenges. Climate change has affected the sector in a really big way, as well as the quota issues which fishermen have been battling with for many years now. And of course, this sector has also been hit by COVID-19. That's just added a whole new dimension to what these families and businesses, small businesses, have to face. But speaking to me today, we are in Yzerfontein, and I'm speaking to Wally Kroom of the SA Commercial Line Fishing Association, and he's going to tell us more just about general challenges that he and his peers are facing today. Wally, thank you so much for speaking to us. So the struggles that your industry has been facing are not new. Can you just give us a rundown of what it is that's been affecting the fishing sector here in the Western Cape and in South Africa in general?
First of all, the biggest challenge, and this hit us over the past 10-12 years, is climate change. It's recognized, it's had a tremendous impact on the fishing and our livelihoods. The sector is split up between, there's 22 sectors. Many of them are big industrialized sectors, and some of them, like the linefish sector specifically, nearshore crayfish, are the smaller sectors. Okay, so climate change has had a major impact on the linefish stocks and the availability of linefish stocks. The other major problem again is intersector competition, where the largest sectors are basically decimating linefish stocks, and I'll expand on that just now.
Wally, now of course the big issue right now, not just in fishing but across all industries and sectors in the country and in the world, is the impact that COVID-19 has had on your sector. Can we speak to how fishing has been affected by the onset of this pandemic?
COVID has absolutely taken away all of our markets. The linefish sector specifically, the top two species are snook and yellowtail. Are the two open species and available to all fishermen. Those stocks have dwindled because of climate change. We have major export markets for yellowtail, fresh yellowtail, to the overseas markets. COVID hit Italy first, and Italy is our biggest market, and the market's been closed to us, and the people that buy in the yellowtail are now stuck with tons of yellowtail, and it's all been frozen. Our major market is the fresh yellowtail market.
Now this of course doesn't only affect big fishing companies, but I'm talking about the small scale fishermen all along this coast and along the other coast as well, the Southern Cape coast. I've been to many of these fishing communities, and for years they've been struggling, and I can just imagine how much worse it is for them. Can you paint us a picture? You spoke about, earlier you spoke to me about how bad it is. Can you just paint us a picture of what's actually happening out there on the ground for fishermen?
Well, as I mentioned to you, the markets have now collapsed because of COVID. The export markets for specifically yellowtail. The other markets, the cob, the geelback, the redfish, and they were local markets. Those markets were all shut down because of lockdown. The restaurants being the major outlet, fresh fish outlets, and then the restaurants. And the restaurants were closed until I think level 1 or 2 lockdown. They haven't been able to get back on their feet yet. It's got so bad right around the coast that most fishermen must first secure a market before he puts his boat to go to sea. And that's a major challenge. There's Yzerfontein Harbour. It's a commercial fishing harbour, and there's one recreational boat out here today. The guys cannot secure their traditional markets, and they just have to stay at home. No income for the rights holder, vessel owner, and of course no income for the crew that fish on that boat. It's a serious challenge right around our coast.
Wally, now with the President making certain announcements about rescue packages to revive the economy and to assist all sectors, is there anything specific you would like to hear President Cyril Ramaphosa say in Parliament, or do you have any advice that you can give him regarding your sector?
One of the largest cost drivers in our sector, but not just linefish, all the smaller sectors, is the fuel. the large industrial sectors, they all use large deck boats and they use diesel. And they can claim a rebate on the diesel that's used. We are not driven by diesel, we use petrol. And 80% of our cost drivers is petrol. If we can somehow get a rebate on or some kind of offset on the rebate that's done for fuel, it'll help us tremendously.
In your estimation, if COVID should clear up, if things go back to normal, how long do you estimate it would take for the markets to get back to a stable position?
Look, COVID in our country at the moment has reduced quite considerably, and that's why we're down to level 1. But look what's happened in Europe, where our export market is. So there's a two-pronged thing. The export market will probably be dead to us again. The local markets, the restaurants must try and first recover and then get into business and then start buying in fish. The problem is our summer season is coming when yellowtail will happen in Strasbourg. At this stage, we don't know if we'll be able to we want to have markets for that yellowtail. It's very, very worrying.
Wally, thank you so much for your time and for speaking to us today. Well, there you have it. That was the input of Wally Kroom, who's speaking on behalf of the SA Commercial Line Fishers Association here in Yzerfontein in the Western Cape, who's telling us about the challenges his industry has faced for many years and how it's become so much more worse for the fishing industry and for fishing communities all along the coast of South Africa. Back to you in the studio.